And I'm back for the last final, if you can believe it. I feel like this year has gone by so quick. Reading of the 52 chapters of Jeremiah, with us reading, oh my goodness, there's a puppy on me. Of us reading a chapter a week, but finishing getting caught up. I love you, sweetie. I love you. I know. You have been laying very patiently, waiting for me to get done with these videos. Anyway, so Jeremiah 52, which is the final chapter in the book of Jeremiah in the Passion Translation. So if you have been following along this whole time, oh my goodness, if you've been following along this whole time, thank you for going on the journey of reading through the book of Jeremiah in the Passion Translation over the course of this last 365 days. Technically we're on 366 because it is January 1st of 2025. And I will be making an announcement in a separate video after this one, but these videos are going to be up honestly as long as the internet is alive. And YouTube is a thing, and Facebook is a thing, and the pages that this is on are not going anywhere. So you can honestly go back and read through, listen, whatever you want to watch, through this over and over and over again as much as you want. But for those of you that have been on the journey with me the whole time from Jeremiah chapter 1 all the way through 52, thank you so much for joining me. Again, I don't have the book with me right now. I'm reading from an app on my extra phone that I have with me. Thank God I had that. Otherwise, I don't know how I was going to do this. But within the next couple days, the footnotes will be posted if you're watching on Facebook, and the videos and footnotes will be posted on YouTube, hopefully within the next couple days. So without further ado, here is our final chapter of the book of Jeremiah in the Passion Translation, chapter 52. The fall of Jerusalem. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king. He reigned for 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. He did what was displeasing in the sight of Yahweh, just as King Jehoiakim had done. Yahweh became so angry with the people of Jerusalem and Judah that he banished them from the land. Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. In the 9th year of Zedekiah's reign, on the 10th day of the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, attacked Jerusalem with his entire army and laid siege to it. After the city had been surrounded for a year and a half, they broke through the city walls. On the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine was so severe in the city that there was nothing left to eat. That was when the Babylonians broke through the city wall. That same night, Zedekiah and his soldiers tried to escape through the gate between the two walls near the royal garden, even though they knew the enemy had the city surrounded. They fled toward the Jordan Valley, but the Babylonians pursued King Zedekiah and overtook him in the plains of Jericho. All his army deserted him there and fled. Man, that stinks. Sorry, buddy. The Babylonians captured him and brought him to King Nebuchadnezzar, who was based at the town of Riblah in the territory of Hamath, where he passed sentence on Zedekiah. Nebuchadnezzar had Zedekiah's sons slaughtered at Riblah, and Zedekiah was forced to watch their execution. The king of Babylon also executed all the officials of Judah. I need a drink real quick. I went and got water in between the videos, so give me just a second. I don't want to cough in your ear. Trying to avoid that, so I'm drinking water to try and make that not happen. Oh, shoot. Where are we at? The king of Babylon, I might have already said this, so sorry if I'm repeating. The king of Babylon also executed all the officials of Judah. Then he put out Zedekiah's eyes and bound him with chains. Then they dragged him off blinded to distant Babylon and put him in prison till the day of his death. In the 19th year that Nebuchadnezzar was king of Babylon, on the 10th day of the 5th month of that year, the field general Nebuzaradan, who served the king, entered Jerusalem. He burned down the temple of Yahweh. Oh, sorry, the dog's barking outside. The royal palace and all the homes of the wealthy of Jerusalem, and other buildings went up in flames. Don't bark in here. Do not. The Babylonians, no ma'am, come here. Under the command of Nebuzaradan, demolished all the walls surrounding Jerusalem. Yep, come read with me. Nebuzaradan, the field general, took as prisoners some of the poor who were left behind in Jerusalem, together with the skilled workers and the deserters who had gone over to him. This is the best video yet. But he also left behind some of the extremely poor people in the land of Judah. They owned nothing, but he gave them vineyards and fields of their own. The Babylonians, please don't lick my water bottle, took everything of value from the temple of Yahweh. They smashed the bronze pillars and confiscated the wheeled stands and the bronze laver. Everything made of bronze they carried off to Babylon. They also took the ash pots, the shovels, the snuffers, the sprinkling bowls, the incense bowls, and all the bronze vessels that had been used in worship. The field general took away every small bowl, the censers, the sprinkling bowls, the ash containers, the lampstands, the ladles, and the saucers, everything that was made of gold or silver. But the 2 pillars, the 1 sea, and the 12 bronze bowls on their movable stands, get your feet off the table, which King Solomon had made for the temple of Yahweh, were too heavy to weigh. Both pillars were identical, and each stood 18 cubits high. Their circumference was 12 cubits, and they were 4 fingers thick and hollow inside. On top of each column was a large section of bronze. Its height was over 5 cubits, and all around it were filigree and pomegranates, all in bronze. There was a total of 100 pomegranates on the filigree all around, and 96 were visible from the ground. Nebuzaradan, the field general, arrested Seraiah, the chief priest, Zephaniah, the priest next in rank, and other temple officials. In the city, he arrested an official who was in command of the fighting men, 7 of the king's closest associates who were discovered in the city, the secretary to the army commander responsible for mustering the troops, and 60 men of distinction. The field general took these men and brought them to the king of Babylon at Riblah. At Riblah, in the territory of Hamath, the king of Babylon had them executed. And so the people of Judah were taken into exile. Here is the record of the number of those deported by Nebuchadnezzar in the 7th year of his reign, 3,023 men from Judah. In the 18th year of I keep saying it wrong. Nebuchadnezzar's reign, he deported 832 persons from Jerusalem. In the 23rd year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, I keep wanting to say Nebuzaradan. The field, Nebuchadnezzar's reign, Nebuzaradan, there's his name, the field general deported 745 Judeans. In all, 4,600 persons were deported. 37 years after King Jehoiakim was taken away as a prisoner on the 25th day of the 12th month of that year, King Evil-Merodach, it literally says E-V-I-L, like evil. Evil-Merodach of Babylon showed kindness to Jehoiakim by releasing him from prison. This was in Evil-Merodach's first year as king. The king of Babylon treated Jehoiakim kindly and gave him a position of honor above the other kings. So Jehoiakim laid aside his prison clothes and, for the rest of his life, always ate at the king's table. At the command of the king of Babylon, everything that needed was given to him each day until his death. Alrighty. That is the end. That is the end. Don't do it. Come here, you silly goose. I know you're going to go bark at whoever's out there. This dog is so pretty and she's so sweet. Yeah, that is the end of Jeremiah. That is chapter 52. So we have read 52 chapters throughout the year 2024. Again, I know it's day 1 of 2025, but we still finished it. And again, in the Passion Translation. And I did 4 different chapters. I did the last 4 chapters today. And so within the next couple of days, you're going to see in the comment section your footnotes if you're watching on Facebook. And probably about the same time, the videos and the footnotes will be posted on YouTube if you watch there, because I know I have at least one person that watches over there. So thank you so much for joining in on this amazing journey through the book of Jeremiah that we have been on. And isn't it? It's been, to me, it's been so incredible. I mean, obviously it always is when God tells us to do something and then it's like, wow, when it correlates with other things. And so I feel like as we've, here in the United States, as we've lived through certain things throughout this year, as we've been reading through the book of Jeremiah and how, especially in the last couple chapters that we just read, talking about Babylon and stuff, and tearing down idols and things like that, that is really on God's heart for the year 2025. And so I just encourage you to ask the Lord if there are any idols in your own life that he wants to tear down. I'm just reminded of in 1st and 2nd Kings and then 1st and 2nd Chronicles, as we're reading through the lineage of kings that were kings of Israel and kings of Judah, how it says that they were either wicked kings or that I forget what the word, a good king, great king. I can't remember exactly the wording, but it even says that those that did not do evil in the eyes of the Lord and followed the commandments of the Lord. They still didn't tear down the high places, which is where those altars to those other gods were. And so we need to be doing that ourselves. And we've been reading about that all through this past year in the book of Jeremiah. So I just encourage you, even though it's day one, even if you already technically made your resolutions or whatever it is that you want to call them last night before we headed into another year, I just genuinely encourage you to ask the Lord if there's anything that, I was listening to a teaching today. It was so good. It talks about in scripture that God is a jealous God, and he is jealous for our love and our affection for him. And anything that steals that love away from him, is worldly and is not of the Lord. And so the speaker was just encouraging people. And it was just so good. It was precious little time with Jesus today. And, I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing, to ask the Lord, is there anything that you are jealous over in my life that is basically taking precedence over you in my life? And so, yeah, I genuinely encourage you to do that, because I was really surprised by what he said to me. And then the next step that they said to do was to share it with somebody. And so I did. I shared it with a pretty large group of people, actually, for me, large. Usually I like to share with one or two people. This is a group of 7 women. But I felt led to share with them and encourage them to do the same as they felt led. And so, be encouraged. And I will be literally right back, because I am going to go live again. What is happening? I'm going to go live again, and let you know what is going to be happening on this page, wherever it is you're watching, YouTube or Facebook, over the next year in 2025, because, we are going to go on another adventure through scripture. And it'll be starting this week. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your day if you are logging off for the day and you're going to watch the announcement later. Otherwise, I will see you in just a minute. Bye.